enough sky. What am I the thorn in your eye? Too much sun and not enough sky. What am I the thorn in your eye? Too much sun and not enough sky. I'm lost again, but I gotta maintain. Too much sun and not enough sky. What am I the thorn in your eye?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the opening race of Season 4 NASCAR Walmart Cup Series. Hi, I'm Levi McIntyre, aka Thrash Maniac 99, the voice of NASCAR Walmart Cup Series, here to welcome you to the 4th annual Daytona 500 at Daytona International Speedway. And joining me for commentary for this race, it's going to be a tradition from now on in Daytona 500, and that is having a co-commentator. But I'm joined by David Rivera. How are you doing, David?
Doing good. How about you, man?
Doing good myself. So, ladies and gentlemen, this Daytona 500 is going to be interesting because we got 8 or 9 new rookies this season. Also, some return drivers from previous seasons in Walmart Cup racing, as well as some notable driver changes to some cars. But ladies and gentlemen, here's a look at the starting lineup for today's race at Daytona.
Imagine the dreams of a 13-year-old looking up at the sky, wondering how the world can be so cold. This kid wasn't sold it would be like this. At nighttime, wishes to be safe from this abyss. Cause this shit is something that can be dismissed. A boy born as a girl who is going through the stress. He's got a shotgun number, can't play for the team. His school won't let him even though it's his dream. Now he's sitting in bed with a loaded gun, thinking about blowing his brains out to kingdom come. Cause he's been bullied and teased all his life. Almost killed himself 2 years ago by slitting his wrist with a knife. I wonder if he sees the things I see for him. 10 years down the line, speaking at the forum. A college graduate up at the top of his class. The first trans NFL player up in the draft.
Well, there's a look at your lineup. It is Chris Washer on the pole with Kyle Matthews second. Ironic. Washer on the pole and his former ride is right next to him. But here we go. Racing for 40 laps here in the Daytona 500. Long race. But here we go. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys and girls.
Let's do this.
So, David, who are some picks you're wanting to see potentially do good here in this prestigious race?
Well, at the moment, of course, it is looking to be a really great race, and just to note that off as well, I am looking for the 31 car as of right now, the Target car, and as well the 24 car at the moment for my picks.
I think for a good, interesting pick, I am actually going to go with that number 41 of Preston Plord. We'll see how that 41 car can potentially run here in this race. And already they are 3 wide galore, and they are racing really, really good already here in the ongoing of this race. And we got a new leader, and that is Charles Sanford, and Sanford leads lap number 1 here in the 500. And wow, just look at that, 3 wide everywhere.
Yeah, this is really going to turn out to be something.
Indeed. Just as long as nobody tries to go 4 wide, it's all good, because if they try going 4 wide, this could get very, very messy. And look who's coming up next to the 20, and that is his teammate Chris Singer, but also Henrietta Fitzwater, 3 wide for the lead. Henrietta Fitzwater with help from fellow Ford mate Austin Weiner, pushing her up to the lead. Already a lot of shuffling going on, and Henrietta leads this lap. And look who's coming in there. My pick, Preston Plord, is coming into the picture now. Also, here comes Joshua Michaels in the 82. And then another driver that's got a lot of momentum, Ken Thoreau, he's coming into the picture. And he's the most recent points winner in Walmart Cup racing when he won at FTF, which is a plate track, back in the last race of Season 3 and won the Bud Shootout just a few days ago.
Yeah, there's a lot of good competition going on, and a lot of people are actually having some good pushes as well. So I'm guessing we are going to see a lot of changes, and I'm pretty sure of that too.
Yeah. It's like every lap we're getting a different leader every time. This could shape up to
Yeah,
be the
exactly.
best Daytona 500 we have ever had. And look
Mhm.
who's right there behind him, Zachary Fitzwater in the number 45. Also, Chase Oliver, who is a former plate race winner, won at Talladega in Season 1. So he knows how to get it done on plate tracks. And here he is up here in third. And look who else is coming. Chris Thomas, a rookie, along with Jesse King underneath of him. And for it looks like for the first time today, we're going to get a driver to lead multiple laps, and that is Ken Thoreau. He led the last lap, and he's going to lead this lap. And look at this. It's a Ford freight train. 3 cars
Wow.
running in a freight train. Well, now it's split up, but it was a Ford freight train. And speaking of Fords, it's like I said at the Bud Shootout, when we get to the race before the season finale at Homestead, when it's the Ford 400, all the drivers who run Ford cars will be running the Ford EcoBoost paint schemes. So that will be interesting. And as we look in around the back, it's single file for some cars. As I see right there in dead last at the moment is rookie Mitchell Riggs. But this could be strategy in case the big one ends up occurring at any moment during this race. And so far, despite how close they may be getting with 3 wide, they are keeping it straight and narrow. And Ken Thoreau continues to hold on to the lead. And they are averaging speeds up to about 195. Let's see how fast they're running. Wow, they're going nearly 200. They're going 198.
That's
heading into the
impressive.
corner.
And they're pretty much doing the same speed, and they're still being able to keep up with each other, which is really damn interesting.
Indeed. And let's see how fast they're going to be running when they get into turn number 1. They're going up to 198. And Jesse King is actually going to the lead now. And they still run 198. And here comes Preston Blord into the lead. And Henrietta Fitzwater with Zachary Fitzwater. Now that 3 wide pack of big cars are coming into this lead battle. And it's side by side with Jesse King and Preston Blord at the moment. It's like I said, this race is shaping up to be the best Daytona 500 we have ever had.
Yeah, no doubt. We definitely picked a good day too as well.
And it looks like the leader at the moment will be Jesse King. But Preston Blord is not giving up very easily. But now he opened up that bottom lane, and now here comes Zachary Fitzwater. And that bottom lane's going to start working. And look who else is in that bottom lane. Jesse Setti, Kyle Singer, P.J. Williams, Rue McIntyre, Anthony McCrory, and Biggie Spencer, Michael Norman, Jacko Knight, Charles Jackson, among others. Zachary left the bottom open, and here comes Jesse Setti for the lead.
No, this is really great with this 3-ride racing.
I'm somewhat surprised nobody's attempted 4 wide, but at the same time, I'm glad.
Yeah.
And Jesse said he's going to lead this lap. Man, just 3 wide everywhere. And trying to shuffle around to get their spots. Mitchell Riggs.
It is nice to look at, but it's also making me a little nervous. Hopefully you won't go to that 4 wide like you said. But the 3 wide is actually really working well, which is really great, so I'm liking that.
And only 2 cars seem to have lost a draft. Eric and Rage and Mitchell Riggs, they are falling behind. Although that could be strategy in case if a wreck does occur.
Yeah, or if we have the pits too, they can always have a change up too as well.
Yeah, and indeed, and soon these cars will end up having to pit once, maybe even twice, potentially. So, there you go. Now it's 3 wide for the lead as here comes Kyle Singer, but P.J. Williams in that 27 running the lower line. Here he comes to the lead, and here comes for second Rue McIntyre in the 28 in that retro Davey Allison car. And now he just left the bottom open, and here comes Anthony McCrory. Well, I thought Dorian Facepuncher was going to make it 4 wide. Thankfully, he didn't. And Dorian Facepuncher is actually the second car in line on that bottom groove. And McCrory, it looks like he will lead this lap. But here comes Dorian Facepuncher, the rookie in the 15 car, driving the Cro-Mags DRI Toyota. And here comes Jekko Knight in the 5 car to the lead now, who's got Charles Jackson behind him. Man, it's just lead changes left and right, everywhere.
Yeah, it's almost making me changing too on who else I want to win, but it's also making it harder too, which is interesting.
Yeah. And then I see another car. Oh man, I thought they were 4 wide right there. But I see here comes Gabe Williams, and Austin Weiner is coming in underneath of the 33 for the 3rd spot. Potentially. And I see Jessica Shelton is up here. Wait a minute, we're under caution. Caution is out for the first time. Who was in it? Oh, Cody Lamas was wrecked. Trent Dunham's got damaged. Kendall Maynard, I don't know if there's any damage on him. I think he got held up. Might have been just a 2-car incident, although I see David Rivera got held up. I saw some damage on the 51 of James McLeod, it looked like. I think we might have just had a 2-car accident potentially, but despite having our first caution, we went 11 straight laps, clean and green, with some phenomenal racing. That certainly has set the tone for how this race is going to go. And it looks like the accident took place here in the middle of turns 3 and 4. So there you go, but let's actually take a look at a replay to see what brought the caution out for the first time today here at Daytona. It looks like cars are coming in the pit, but Austin Weiner is actually going to stay out along with some other drivers, so that's interesting. But anyways, let's take a look at the replay to see what brought the caution out here in the Daytona 500. Well, here's a look at what happened. They were 4 wide running down in the backstretch heading into turn 3. And we're about to see what is going to be the start of this wreck. Oh, it looks like Kendall Maynard tried going in. Whoa, look at Cody Lamas.
Yeah,
wow,
crazy.
He went up into the catch fence. Cody Lamas ended up into the catch fence. That was wicked.
And I thought it was just a minor accident. I didn't even know that was going to happen.
Well, from what I saw, it looked like Kendall Maynard tried to make it 4 wide by going in between Trent Dunham and another car.
Yeah, I see your point.
But let's actually go to the helicopter camera to get a better vantage point. Danny Wells was in there too. Let's see. No, it looked like Dunham actually came up into the 26 and then up into the 4, and 48 goes in there. David Rivera does get a little piece, but he managed to get through. But wow, that ride Cody Lamas took was unbelievable. Went up into the catch fence. Let's actually look at that again. And this is going to be a cool camera angle, because we're literally right about next to the catch fence. I don't know. It looked like either Kendall came down or the one came up, or there was just no room for them to go 4 wide.
And like the way it looks at it, that they were going up, and then that's how that happened.
Yeah. Let's look at this one last time with the 48's crazy ride.
Yeah, there they go.
Goes up and is cartwheeling rear end into the catch fence, and then it's gonna come and turn over one time. But that was a wild ride for Cody Lamas. Not the way he wanted to start his season off. But I mean, as much as a crazy wreck it was, he didn't get that bad of damage. though he might end up still retiring. But let's actually go on board with the 48 of Cody Lamas. On board with Cody Lamas. And watch out, this is going to be a wild ride.
Yeah, that was fun to watch.
Well, his motor's still running, but he just got stuck for a second right there on that part between the track and the apron, and then he eventually drives away. But we'll see if any of these drivers are going to end up retiring or staying out on the race. But let's take you to the restart here at Daytona. Well, after that first accident of the race, as I'm looking back, trying to look around, and let me double check. Looks like Danny Wells is out, and then I believe Cody Lamas, and indeed that is the case. So 2 cars ended up retiring from the race after that, Danny Wells and Cody Lamas. But some pit strategy took place. Some cars came and pitted, some stayed out. Austin Weiner is going to be the leader. Second is Chris Singer. Third is Chase Oliver. Fourth is Preston Plord. Fifth is Dylan Young. Sixth is Eric Enrage. Seventh is Jekko Knight. And then everybody else, I believe, pitted. And they are 8th, Dorian Facepuncher. 9th, Charles Jackson. 10th, Gabe Williams. Then 11th is Jesse Setti. 12th is Michael Norman. 13th, Ken Thoreau. 14th, Jessica Shelton. 15th, Anthony McCurry. 16th, PJ Williams. 17th is Sonny Hammond. 18th, Kyle Singer. 19th, Rue McIntyre. 20th, Seth Cole. 21st, Zachary Fitzwater. 22nd, Dylan Thoreau. 23rd, Jesse King. 24th, Charles Sanford. 25th is Matt McIntyre. 26th is Biggie Spencer. 27th, Chris Thomas. 28th, Brandon Nichols. 29th, Ian Dutta. 30th, Joshua Michaels. 31st is David Rivera. 32nd, Henrietta Fitzwater. 33rd, Kyle Matthews. 34th is Joshua Balkin. 35th is Justin Nichols. 36th, Chris Washer. 37th, Mitchell Riggs. 38th, Trent Dunham. 39th, Kendall Maynor. And 40th is James McLeod. And here we go. We're getting ready to race with 25 laps to go. Back underway here at the Daytona 500. And already cars are trying to find lines to run, it looks like. Some cars going to stay up high, some are going down low. And Austin Weiner has got a push coming from Chris Singer, but now here comes Chris Singer to the bottom for the lead. But Preston Plord, he's going way low. He's going to try to make it 3 wide for the lead, and indeed it will be that way. Here comes the 41 of Preston Plord to try to get the lead. And some cars are coming in the pit, and those are some of the cars who stayed out that last caution. They're coming in the pit. I saw Austin Weiner down there, Eric Enrage, Dylan Young, Chase Oliver. And those are 4 of the 7 that stayed out under that last caution that came and pitted, and the other 3 that are still on track are Preston Plord, Chris Singer, and if I can think, Jekko Knight right there in that 4th spot. Underneath of him are Dorian Facepuncher, and here comes Anthony McCurry. Right now, Chris Singer has the lead, but I'm certain he, Plord, and the 5 are going to have to come and pit, but it looks like Chris and Plord are going to pit, but Jekko Knight, I think he's going to stay out another lap. And he's up there in that pack, and it's getting 3 wide racing already here. And Sonny Hammond, here he comes down low. This will be big if Sonny Hammond can actually win this race. And there is Dylan Young, who's just coming out of the pits. Oh man, don't come back up. Oh man, he did! And there we go, the big one has struck. Oh my
God,
word. Oh, and the car's upside down. That's Jesse Setti who went upside down. Oh my goodness, there were a lot of cars.
no. There's so much smoke
And
now.
look at the smoke
Making
and
it
the
hard to
dirt
see.
cloud. My
Big
word.
time.
That was absolutely wicked. And there's damage on the 28 of Rue McIntyre, or that could be a glitch. But man, oh man. There's Kyle Singer who was involved. Michael Norman, I saw, got a piece of it. Ian Dutta was involved. Matt McIntyre was involved. Charles Jackson. Ken Thoreau got a slight piece of it on the right side, but he's still running. Chris Washer, the pole sitter, got involved. There's the car who went upside down, Jesse Setti. Henrietta Fitzwater, I think, got a little bit of it, but not too much. Biggie Spencer was in it. Dorian Facepuncher, he got collected in it. So too did Joshua Michaels. And man, oh man, just mayhem ensued. And we actually ended up losing the signal of David Rivera for a second. We'll try to get him back in here in just a moment, but Zachary Fitzwater was in. James McLeod, I'm not sure if he was in it or not. Mitchell Riggs was caught up in it. Justin Nichols. And now more cars are coming into the pits to make pit stops, but Anthony McCrory is looking to stay out to keep the lead, but let's take a look at a replay to see what brought the caution out for the second time today as the big one is struck in the Daytona 500. Well, here's a look at what happened. It all starts when there's a lot of three-wide racing, and Dylan Young, he's running not up to speed, and he's going to come up right in front of Kyle Singer, and that's going to collect Michael Norman, Dorian Facepuncher, and among others. And then as they come down, they're going to collect more cars, and Jesse Setti was caught up in it. And then she's going to get a big hit from Brandon Nichols to force her upside down, and then more cars just piled in big time. I see David Rivera was in there, James McLeod, and because of the smoke, you can't hardly see. There's Mitchell Riggs.
Oh, yeah.
We'll actually go with this camera angle. This might be a cool camera angle to kind of see who all got caught up. As there you see, this is kind of reminiscent of the whole debacle at Talladega in the Nationwide series back in 2008, where a car just coming out of the pits tries to come back up and blend in, but it didn't work. Dylan Young, yeah, he comes up right in front of Kyle Singer, and that's going to collect all those drivers, and then they're going to come back down and collect more cars. And then mayhem just absolutely got crazy. Wow, James McLeod just spun in there and hit Brandon Nichols hard.
What about Kyle? That sucks.
And then, whoa, a dead-on hit for Mitchell Riggs into Justin Nichols. There you see David Rivera in his car immediately was finished after that. But man, oh man, that was one of the biggest wrecks I think we've had in the history of Walmart Cup racing here at Daytona. And there is Charles Sanford, who was way in the back of the pack. So was the rest of these cars. As there you see the wrecks taking place right there. And, oh, the 20 got into the 15, and that's what happened. And then there you see Riggs coming in, and then watch this hit. Right into the front of the 23.
Wow.
And that's where it all really began. And then right back here is the culprit, Dylan Young. His car immediately was finished. Let's look at him one last time. As there you see, he was just coming out of the pits, and he tries to come back up to blend in, but he ought to know that you can't do that without causing a wreck. And it's like it happened in the 08 Talladega race in the Busch Series of many years ago. The rule is you cannot go above the yellow line whenever there are cars coming by if you're coming out of the pits. And that's for that reason. That was a bad wreck that just took place right there. We're actually going to go on board with a few cars. We're going to go on board with the 2, the 88, the 12, and the 51. And by the way, I apologize for no sound. The sound went out when we tried to get David back into the booth. But on board with James McLeod as there is the wreck happening. And then watch this.
Damn.
Some pretty
Oh,
hard hits
wait.
were taken in this whole ordeal.
Yeah. Some pretty major damage, too.
On board with Brandon Nichols. There you see the wreck just taking place up there. And then watch this. Right into the 88, and that forced the 88 to go upside down.
Yeah, and blinded by that smoke, too. There was no chance of getting out of that. Oh, no.
On board with Dylan Young. As there you see, you can obviously tell he's not completely up to speed. He's only going 170. Comes back up in front of the 11,
Whoa.
and then booyah. The mayhem starts.
And that's all she wrote. Wow.
Finally on board with Jessie Seti. And there you see the wrecks happening up there. And then she's going to take the wildest ride of this wreck. Upside down over once. And she actually ended up on top of the 99 of Ken Thoreau as she was flipping back over. But somehow managed to drive away, though I don't think she's going to be able to finish. But we're going to take you back to the restart here at Daytona. Well, after that big one we've got several cars out of the race, and they are Charles Jackson, Kyle Singer, Jessie Seti, Dorian Facepuncher, Brandon Nichols, Charles Sanford, Zachary Fitzwater, James McLeod, David Rivera, Justin Nichols, Mitchell Riggs, Dylan Young, and then, of course, Danny Wells and Cody Lamas. So that leaves us with 28 cars left in the field, and we will go racing with 18 to go. Anthony McCrory is your leader. Second is Chris Thomas. Third is Dylan Thoreau. Fourth is Kendall Maynor, who was involved in the first caution. He's up here at the fourth. Fifth is Chris Singer. Sixth is Sonny Hammond. Seventh is Gabe Williams. Eighth is PJ Williams. Ninth is Jecko Knight. 10th is Seth Cole. 11th is Jesse King. 12th is Rue McIntyre. 13th, but with damage, Ian Dutta. 14th, Jessica Sheldon. 15th, Trent Dunham. 16th, Kyle Matthews. 17th, Joshua Balkin. 18th is Chase Oliver. 19th, Eric Enrage. 20th is Preston Plord. And 21st, Henrietta Fitzwater. 22nd is Michael Norman. 23rd, Austin Weiner. 24th, Biggie Spencer. 25th is Chris Washer. 26th, Joshua Michaels. 27th is Ken Thoreau. And then 28th is Matt McIntyre. We have some cars not up to speed, including the 31 to 66, the 99, the 1, among others of those cars, are not going to be up to speed, so they may hold up some of those cars who are clean, but we'll see how the rest of this race is going to progress. But here we go. We are getting ready to go racing with 18 to go here at Daytona. And here we go. Green flag is back out. And already cars are trying to find their way around some of the not up to speed cars. And McCrory is going to manage to keep the lead, but here comes Dylan Thoreau for second, underneath of Chris Thomas. There you see cars are already trying to go 3 wide, trying to get by people. And there is Ian Dutta up there, and he was holding up Eric Enrage for a second, but now he's going to move up high. And then everybody else back here not up to speed. But it looks like McCrory does lead that lap. But now here comes Gabe Williams to second. And he's got his brother PJ right behind him too. Excuse me. And remember, if I can recall, I believe Anthony McCrory last season in the Daytona 500 ended up finishing second, So he would love to get the win, but now here comes Gabe Williams for the lead now. And Gabe Williams, he's the Season 2 champion. Only one career Walmart Cup Series victory, and that was last season. Don't recall which race it was, but here he is to the lead, and here is Chris Singer into the second spot. And look who else is coming. Sonny Hammond, Rue McIntyre, Jekko Knight, Seth Cole, and Jessica Shelton all coming into this picture.
Yeah, they're really starting to pick up the speed, and I'm actually really keeping an eye out on the 18 car. It looks like it has the most speed and actually might change things up as it did already just about. So as of right now that I'm thinking about it, I think that 18 car might be the one to go with.
Well, now here comes McCrory back to the lead, as I'm trying to keep an eye out on that 31 car, and there he is coming off of turn 2. Because if the race goes green the rest of the way, they may end up encountering him. And here comes Jekko Knight into the lead in that 5 team. If Chase Oliver was here in the booth with us, he'd be going nuts.
That he would.
And now here
Chase,
comes
by the way.
yeah, and here comes Seth Cole into second, and Jessica Shelton's gonna follow suit along with Jesse King, Dylan Thoreau, Chase Oliver, and Preston Blord. So some of those cars who were held up a little bit are coming into the picture, but what about the rest of them? There's Kyle Matthews, Eric and Rage, Balkan. There's Austin Weiner. Trent Dunham, who's not completely up to speed, but is running pretty fast. I think he is up to speed. He's just not able to keep it in the draft. And then everybody else back here are clearly not up to speed. And Jekko Knight does lead that lap as it's 14 to go here in the Daytona 500. We're getting down to the wire here in the season opener. And I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, these cars may have to pit maybe one more time, depending on what strategy they're trying to go with. But right now it is Jekko in the lead, and there's a 3-wide battle for second with Dylan Thoreau, Jesse King, and Rue McIntyre at the moment. Meanwhile, Jekko Knight got about a 2-car length lead over that pack. And now that bottom is open to where here comes Chase Oliver into the picture as well. So this looks like it's a 16-car pack up here battling for the lead. But Austin Weiner, he's the next car behind that in the 17th spot, though he has no draft help except for maybe Joshua Balkan. But I would say the 22 would have to maybe hope for a caution to come out or for pit strategy to play out. As right now, the top 5 from what I can tell, it is Jekko Knight in the lead with Chase Oliver 2nd, 3rd Sonny Hammond, 4th Gabe Williams, 5th Preston Blord. And Jekko Knight's doing a very good job of mirror driving, of just trying to block every lane possible in order to keep his car up at the front. Meanwhile, 3 wide for a few rows back there with McCrory and Kyle Matthews. And funny thing, Kyle Matthews, right there, he has a little buckle on his hood from that last caution, but he's still up to speed and is still up here in this lead pack racing for the win potentially. And now here comes a couple cars, Chris Thomas and Anthony McCrory coming into the pits. And we got a new leader, and that is Sonny Hammond, and almost a wreck right there with him and Gabe Williams, but they keep it together. But Sonny Hammond's now to the lead, but here comes Gabe Williams back at it with Preston Blord behind him. Gotta wonder, maybe these cars are going to end up coming into the pits here anytime in order to make it the rest of the way on fuel.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
And now here comes Chris Singer in the 18 with Eric and Rage giving him a nice push. But let's see, are there going to be any takers coming into the pits this time? I see Dylan Thoreau back there is coming into the pits. Nobody else looks like is coming down, though. Just the 17. And the 26 ended up coming in. But right now it is Gabe Williams in the lead after what has been probably the best and craziest Daytona 500 we have had so far in the history of Walmart Cup Series racing. Because even though we've had 2 wrecks and a huge wreck, but we've seen a lot of great racing early on in that first 11 laps when they were 3 wide. It was just absolutely immense. As I am looking around to see if there's any more takers, and here comes Rue McIntyre into the pits. So that tells me these drivers up here in this pack still may have to come down and pit maybe one more time in order to keep going, but it is less than 9 to go. And Gabe Williams is in the lead, and those 2 cars up ahead, McCreary and Chris Thomas, pitted, and now, they are going to encounter Matt McIntyre. This could be trouble. And wow, that power move from Eric Enrage to take advantage of that. He is going to get to the lead.
Wow.
As the 33 got held up, and now he's going to get held up by Dylan Thoreau. Now that's going to open up for more drivers to come up here as Preston Blord, his teammate, is coming in, along with Chris Singer and Jesse King. But right now, this is the lead going on right now, which is Eric Enrage. And now here comes Chris Singer to the bottom to try to get the lead. Meanwhile, McCreary and Chris Thomas, those 2 may be up ahead of them, but they are on the tail end of the lead lap as they came and pitted earlier in the race. And we got another wreck. Rue McIntyre turns up in front of Jesse King, and they both go smacking into the outside wall.
Oh, wow.
But no caution's going to come out because they somehow kept it together. But now Chris Singer's coming into the pits. But man, oh man, that is a tough break for the 28 and the 55 teams.
But the good thing is at least we didn't have the caution now, and we're able to continue the race.
But Jesse King is not up to speed now, and that could cause some trouble for these 2, Jessica Sheldon and Austin Weiner. Also Joshua Balkin, excuse me. Now the question is, who is the leader right now? And it is still Eric Enrage, and he somehow is extended to a big lead between himself and Jekko Knight. But now here comes Eric Enrage into the pits along with Chase Oliver, so these pit stops still aren't done. We still have got more cars to come in. And there is Seth Cole, who's on the tail end. I'm thinking maybe once these pit stops cycle around, I'm thinking this guy could be the leader, Anthony McCreary. And the next time we go by, it will be 5 laps to go. And now Seth Cole's holding up that lead pack as Jekko Knight was right there. And here comes Preston Blord, a.k.a. my pick. He's coming down low. And Dylan Thoreau's another lapped car. He's in this pack. But let's see if any of these pack cars are coming in. And Jekko Knight, Preston Blord are. They are coming down, but that lead is going to cycle over to a 3-wide battle with Sonny Hammond, Gabe Williams, and Kyle Matthews. But it's going to be Gabe Williams who gets that spot. Meanwhile, there is Chris Singer, who's gone around the 61 and the 14. And the 22 and the 55 are just coming out of the pits. But right now, that is your leader, Gabe Williams. Don't really think those 3 up there can make it the rest of the way. I really don't see that they can stretch it out. And there is Thoreau and Seth up there. And now here comes those 3 leaders, Williams, Matthews, and Hammond, all coming into the pits. So now everything's going to cycle back around, though I don't know who, though. There you see Blord and Jekko coming out of the pits. And there's Eric Enrage and Chase Oliver, who have been out. I'm thinking maybe Chase Oliver might be the leader. That's what I'm starting to think, but we'll see how the cycles are going to look here in the next couple laps, and we are nearing the end. When we come by, it's going to be 3 to go, or it might be Jekko Knight may be the leader. Though this is going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, it really is.
Who is going to be up in the lead right now. And it looks like after that last cycle, Gabe Williams somehow is still the leader. And there he is, along with Matthews and Hammond. And now here comes Preston Plord, who's the front runner of that pack. I'm thinking if they can get by the 33 and the 24, the 41 will be the leader. But there is the lap slowdown machine of Ian Dutta. Oh man, this could be bad.
No, I hope not.
He's holding up Plord, so now that's going to help Gabe Williams keep the lead. But now here comes McCreary, Thomas, and Chris Singer all coming into the picture, but Ian Dutta's still holding up drivers. As it is 3 to go now, and Ian Dutta's holding up Preston Plord, Chris Singer up there. And right now, the lead is actually going to go to Chase Oliver right now. As those pit stops have finally cycled around, one of these top 9, maybe top 8 or 9 drivers are going to be battling for the win. We got Chase, we got Gabe Williams up here, Kyle Matthews, Jekko Knight, Eric Enrage, Anthony McCreary, Chris Thomas, Preston Plord, and Chris Singer all battling. And right now, it is Chase Oliver in the lead with 2 laps to go here in the Daytona 500 after what has been probably the best 500 we have had in the history of Walmart Cup Series racing. And they are, well, I thought they were 4 wide. That was a close call.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
And there's Joshua Michaels, who's a slower machine. I don't know if they'll be able to catch him in time or not. I'm not sure. They may or they may not. And whoa, here comes Jekko Knight with a full head of steam. He's coming fast. And he indeed is coming fast. Look at this. This is unbelievable.
Yeah,
with
this is
9-car battle, and here comes Jekko for the lead, coming to the white flag. White flag is out for Jekko Knight and Chase Oliver, and among those others in that top 9.
Wow.
What an exciting race we've got. And now Jekko is going to go to the lead. I think they may catch Joshua Michaels coming into turn number 3 potentially. And that can be big for anybody to maybe get by after somebody gets held up, though we'll see how it's going to turn out. Going into turn 3, and oh, Michaels, he's holding up Jekko. He's holding up Jekko, so that's going to help for that high line to maybe get a bye. Though they're not able to right now. But here comes Chase Oliver to the high line, and now he's going to get held up. It's going to be 3 wide for the win. This is going to be close. Unbelievable. Jekko Knight, I think, got it by a bumper. Let's see. It's official. Jekko Knight has just won the 4th annual Daytona 500.
What a badass race. Great
3
job.
wide photo finish, but 2 of those 3 were battling for the win. Unbelievable.
Just amazing. Great job by everybody.
Holy cow. This is definitely the best Daytona 500 I have ever commentated in my over 3 seasons of doing Walmart Cup coverage. This was unreal.
It was an honor to be here too doing this. That was amazing.
Unbelievable job. Let's take a look at how the official results came about. Jekko Knight, unbelievable. He gets his first win since season 1. And he's going to get it, and he's going to kickstart his season. And you know what's funny? That is the same exact car Kyle Matthews used to win the Daytona 500 in season number 2. It wasn't allowed in season 3 because it was held at the Daytona Museum, but it came back here, and it got the job done once again. But congratulations to Jekko Knight. It was long overdue for him to get another win. Preston Plord, my pick, so close. Lost the race by about 10 1,000ths of a second. So close. But he should be proud of himself for getting that second place finish. Great job for Preston Blord. Chase Oliver thought he had it won by going up high, coming off a 4, but then Joshua Michaels ended up holding him up. But still, Chase will be pretty happy with his performance. Great run of third. Anthony McCurry, solid top 5 finish for Kyotech Racing, and then rounding out the top 5, and the highest finishing rookie Chris Thomas in the 14 car comes away with 5th. Great job for him. Chris Singer, the next highest rookie, comes away with a solid 6th place finish. Gabe Williams, solid performance of 7th. Eric Enrage gets a great run of 8th. Kyle Matthews in the 24, in his first time in a different car, he does good in the 9th place finish. And that's an interesting little thing for him, a comeback for the 24, because he got caught up in the last caution, and somehow, some way, with a buckled up hood a little bit, stayed up to speed and finished in the top 10. Great run for him. And then the last car in the top 10 was P.J. Williams. Great run for him. The rest of the top 20 was Joshua Balkin, Seth Cole, Dylan Thoreau, Sonny Hammond, Jessica Sheldon, Austin Weiner, Henrietta Fitzwater, Jesse King, Biggie Spencer, Trent Dunham. The next 4 cars were the last to finish on the lead lap, and they were Chris Washer, Kendall Maynor, Michael Norman, and Ken Thoreau. And then the next 3 ended up finishing the race a lap down, Joshua Michaels, Ian Dutta, and Matt McIntyre. Everybody else was out of the race after their initial accidents. Rue McIntyre, Charles Jackson, Kyle Singer, Jesse Setti, Dorian Facepuncher, Brandon Nichols, Charles Sanford, Zachary Fitzwater, James McLeod, David Rivera, Justin Nichols, Mitchell Riggs, Dylan Young, Danny Wells, and Cody Lamas. But unbelievable race. This was the best, probably the best race I have ever seen in the history of Walmart Cup Series racing. Great 3-wide racing in the early going. Had a couple wrecks that lowered the amount of cars, but they still managed to have a great race, and with an unbelievable photo finish. And congratulations to Jekko Knight. Just unbelievable. But I would like to thank David Rivera for stopping by the commentary booth for this historic race.
Oh, no problem. It was a blast.
But the next race we head to is going to be big, because we are going to be going overseas the next race as we head to Rockingham, UK for the next up-and-coming race. But until then, here are your results, rookie points, and regular points after this race. But I am Levi McIntyre saying so long, everybody, and thank you for watching the Daytona 500.
If you got it in your heart, then go ahead and do it. If you have a gift, then please go ahead and use it. Cause I was feeling stupid while trying to do music. Thinking that they had no voice and that I was useless. But as I write this down, I can see what I mean. Nobody ever will stop me from achieving my dreams.